What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. I got a very special guest on the panel today, Miss Dominique from Sports Tea. How you doing?
How's it going? I'm fantastic.
Real good, real good. Glad to have you on the panel. We were expecting the big bro wild card Marta pull up. We will probably get him later on in the show, but it'll just be me and Miss Dom for now. Um, well, let me do the intro real quick. Everybody, welcome to the show. I believe which podcast? The Tony the Savant Show, episode 30. Please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live as well. Subscribe to the channel, not just this one, over at Sports Tea as well with Miss Dominique, as the content is dropping daily, going live daily, staying very busy. And last but not least, my favorite part of this whole game, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Trolls too, so we can get some dialogue and get that dialogue. But Miss Dom, if you don't mind, let the people know where they can find you, what you have going on over at Sports Tea.
Oh man, so come check me out at Sports Tea. I've got a couple episodes loaded up already. I'll be dropping some more content this week, and also I'm usually on Man Down Sports every Friday as well. So you can catch me on there, full panel Fridays.
Thanks. Shout out to Man Down Sports, to the fellas. Mel's definitely the big bro as well, but Chris, Zoe, Jay, everybody over there. And welcome again, Miss Dom. We're gonna get cooking. Now we was chatting it up a little bit about the Olympics. How on a 1 to 10, I'm gonna say for me it's probably about an even 5 as far as following the Olympics. How much have you been following?
I've been following most of the basketball. I don't think I've missed one of the men's or women's Team USA games yet. Okay. I also really enjoyed track. Seeing Sha'Carri get the silver, I'm proud of her for medaling, but I was sad that she didn't win the gold.
Yeah, respectfully. Me too. Yeah, and we were talking about I love me some Sha'Carri. I know she a little rough around the edges, and that kind of rubs some folks.
I did also watch gymnastics, by the way.
Miss Simone Biles, the GOAT. And I heard me and Sports Professor was covering a little bit last night. Now, Sports Professor, he one of them type of dudes that he loves every sport. He be coming out of nowhere like, "Hey, did you hear about floor tennis?" I'm like, "What?" So he was a little bit more adept in that department, but he did mention that she has a couple moves named after her now. She's made a certain amount of history. I think she's won 7 medals this time, 4 golds, 11 golds total for her career. What do you think about Miss Simone Biles?
I mean, I think she's probably one of the most decorated athletes in sports history. She's the most accomplished gymnast that we've ever seen. And I thought I heard that she's retiring, that she's actually announced her pregnancy.
Really?
So, yep. And I think that that's wonderful for her. I think she should step back from the sport and, kind of ride off into the sunset off on this high note. Yeah. I think she's a wonderful role model for young women, and just, the desire and the will to win, and just, keep pushing no matter what happens. So she's faced adversity in her life. And, I think fans and certain groups all over the world have criticized her heavily, like when she wasn't able to compete in the last Olympics. It was really just unfair, I think, to her, the criticism that she received. She's just gone through a lot. And I love that this is how she ended her career, on a high note. It reminds me of the same note that Michael Jordan ended his career, like at a high level, at the best of his form, Yeah. He let himself really decline for fans to see.
He wanted to. Just, as a Bulls fan, he wanted to down his sword, and Michael Jordan would have been happily fine with getting swept by the Spurs versus how it all ended. But we could talk about it. Don't get me to crying again, Ms. Dom. I told you, it was a hard time for me. I was a young lad when Jordan got out of here. But I think that's a very good comparison to the impact that Simone Biles has had, And I didn't know she had announced her pregnancy, man. That is phenomenal that she was doing all of those, death-defying flips in the air with life in her belly. So
I know, and I think so. So don't quote me. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. So
okay,
I'm
okay.
checking it out right now.
Well, we're gonna keep that under wrap. We breaking her shit. We announcing it for breaking news. But yeah, nonetheless, Simone Biles is a legend. I definitely my
Yeah.
oldest,
No, it seems true.
she did announce it.
Oh wait. So yeah, I mean, it just seems like everybody's fascinated with the next step. That's what they're reporting.
Hmm.
But like even yeah, it seems like she's keeping her options open about the 2028 Olympics.
Respectfully, nah, I like that. I mean, I
So
know.
she said she's just going to relax and see where life takes her. Um, I thought she announced a pregnancy, and I mean, there's articles that say that, but it's
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I know that she was dating. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so she was dating a gentleman. I forget his name, Jonathan Owens. He was a former player for us.
they're
Um,
married now.
yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I know she came to our last. I think it was with Dallas or against San Francisco, but she was at the game. So she's a big. Well, now he plays for the Chicago Bears, and so that
I thought
is.
he was out of the league. I didn't even know he still played.
Yeah, yeah, we traded him, or I think I believe he signed over there in free agency. But nonetheless, I still support him, and I definitely support Simone Biles. So if she's in 2020, if she's in the 2028 Olympics, I do plan on pulling up to LA for at least some of the events. That'd be great. But I don't think this is gonna be the last we hear from her. She's definitely gonna be a voice, in the Olympics for sure for a lifetime. But uh, any other? I even put the dang on panel. Did you any other 2024 Paris Olympics events outside of basketball? Because we don't cook in that as well. That's actually the only real sport I've ever followed in Olympics. Being a little biased, but any other events catching your eye?
Really, it was track, it was gymnastics. I think we cleaned up again in swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else. Nothing really was like super, you know, big for me
Yeah,
personally. And I know that there's obviously a ton of other sports, but I'm into the track and field stuff, the gymnastics. Like I was annoyed that men's gymnastics didn't win.
really?
Yeah, they didn't win any gold medals. Um,
Did they medal at all?
I think they might have won a bronze, perhaps, but I also could be wrong.
Okay, okay. Yeah, unacceptable, gentlemen. This video,
Especially when you
but
have the ladies over there winning gold, silver, and bronze.
yeah, and
So
which
they
is
just cleaned up. They won all the medals.
ladies gymnastics and ladies soccer. It's just like that. Those are our dynasties, And the men's side of the ball, you don't know. I don't know nobody on the men's soccer team. And I'm not. I know it was one gentleman that they was highlighting in the men's gymnastics, but I couldn't tell you his name. But yeah, yeah. As long as the ladies bring it home the gold, I guess the guys can limp it on them. But that's good. I was following. I'm not sure if you said you were doing the track and field. Now I was on Sideline Speaks. Shout out to Miss Brittany,
Yeah. I
K-Wall,
watched your show today.
yeah, I seen you in the comments section. I had to tune out for a second, but I seen you was commenting. But I know that they were highlighting Noah Lyles and Gabby Thomas.
Yeah.
Now I'm very much more familiar with Noah. I've heard of Gabby, but they both won gold in their events. What's your take on those?
I mean, Gabby Thomas is really amazing. She won gold for the 200, and I'm glad that she competed. I'm glad that she got out there and won.
Yeah, yeah.
Noah Lyles, I've always agreed with his take that track and field athletes are, you know, like the way that they win and their road to greatness is much harder than in any other sport ever because
Mm-hmm,
they are constantly competing against the entire world,
mm-hmm.
not just in the Olympics but all the time. They're competing with other people from, they're competing at nationals, they're competing just,
Yeah,
consistently with, other athletes from all over the world. So, being a world champion in track, I think is, to me, just the fortitude that you need to also have for these races. It's not easy what their body has to go through, the mental toughness, along with the physical toll. I have so much respect for the sport.
Yeah, likewise, likewise. And I've had some family run track. That was never my cup of tea. I was a basketballer, baseballer, but
Yeah.
anybody that can run track just full speed like that, man, you got my you got my support.
Amazing. Yeah. I
But
didn't get a chance to watch volleyball, but I really do enjoy it. So I wish that I was able to check that out, but I was working. The times that the Olympics comes on, being that it's in France, it's just so annoying because it's 9 hours ahead.
yeah, yeah.
So, you know,
Well, I was watching some events. I gotta say, for me, Ms. Dom, I think ping pong is my new favorite sport. I think I sent you a clip of some I had screenshotted, but it was intense. I couldn't pronounce a name. It was a Japan versus I want to say Taiwan, but I don't think it was Taiwan. But man, the level of intensity, I don't think I've seen anything like that since like the old school NFL. Like these dudes was going at it and veins popping. But this is why I love the Olympics, because you get to be exposed and to a lot more what goes on in the sports world. I think here in America, we got our big four: baseball, basketball, football, hockey. But it's so much, so many more events going on, and then you see the international support. I was watching diving as well, and apparently that's a big sport in Mexico. Here go the big bro. Shout out to Wild Card Mar. Boy, you be on that CP time, big bro. You be on that C.
Hey, well, I mean, I'm about a minute away from midnight, so
Yeah.
I'm not white. So, but
I don't know how you guys do it on the East Coast. Like,
nah,
it's a whole another level of toughness.
I'm on the
And I'm
same.
from New York, so I'm new to the West Coast, but just the time difference, it's so hard.
Yeah, nah, it's something else. And Dominique, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Man Down, and I see you on there all the time. Sounds like you be doing your thing over there. So,
thank you so much.
Nah, I'm a big fan. I dig a woman that could talk sports and hold her own. So I respect that for sure. I respect
Thanks
that.
so much. Thank you.
No doubt.
Really nice to meet you too.
Brody, what's good?
Hey, good, big bro. Bless, man. How you doing?
Man, bless.
Amen.
Bless.
Always a classic when Big Bro pull up. This ain't his first time. This pretty much your house too. You know how we cook over here, Big Bro.
Oh shit, let me get my feet up real quick.
You know what it is. You know what it is. Ottoman right there. Well, welcome. Let the people know where they can you do your plugs and plays real quick, Big Bro. Let them know what you got going on.
No doubt, man. You know what it is, man. I'm new to the TikTok world. I ain't doing no dances, but I'm out there, putting my content out there. We doing it. Just going over to Twitter, man. Casey Walkamar, you see it right there under my name. Man, let's get to it, man. Let's get busy.
Yes, sir. Busiest man on the net. Oh, I lost my dang on fingers on there. All righty. Well, we was kind of chopping it up about these 2024 Paris Olympics, Big Bro. And you came in right in time with about to get into the basketball. But let me ask you real quick. I asked Miss Dom, are you been following any of the games? Any particular athletes you got your eye on impressing you?
I mean, I've been watching it. Not as faithful as I was when I was a young kid. The Olympics used to be something special when you was a little kid. And of course, you didn't have no responsibility, and you just be up 24/7. As a father of 3 kids and the husband, I ain't got time to watch everything. But I will say this: shout out to, of course, Simone Biles, the GOAT. I mean, what she's doing. Whew, I mean, that's crazy. Always got to give her, props. Definitely, she's a boss. She's doing her thing. It's bad when you see somebody compete and you just know you ain't got no chance. That's what it's like with Simone Biles, because I saw a clip. The other competitors was just like,
Yeah, they spectating.
Yeah, like what do we do with that? So yeah, no, definitely Simone Biles doing their thing. Katie Ledecky, got to give her props. She's almost on some. She's not quite Michael Phelps, but she's doing her own thing too. A lot of the ladies are showing out in these games. So
Yeah.
shout out to a lot of the ladies, and they don't even have to be from America. Shorty from St. Lucia did her thing in a 100-meter yard. So
Yeah.
she did her thing. Nah, Olympus is still cool, man. So I've been enjoying it, man, for real.
Yeah, same. Likewise, bro.
It's like the only time that I actually feel good about being American
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
is the winning, you know?
Yeah. Nah,
Hey,
that's
Miss Dom, you got some fans in the audience, Mr. Adam. Good fan of the. I like saying fan. Good supporter of the channel. Was good, Adam. He said, "Hey, Miss Dom. And does this podcast contain LeBron James slander?"
hey, bro.
I don't know if Adam's gonna think I'm so beautiful if that's how he feels.
Hey, bro. There's a almost a 99.9% there's gonna be some LeBron slander in this show at some point in the time.
Hey, when you watch, I grew up watching the GOAT, you know what I mean? And LeBron never had a chance, so it don't be slander, it just be, hardcore truth, man. Sometimes that pill is a little harder to swallow for others than so. Respect, shout out to you, Adam.
Man, them Bron Sexers can't take no truth, bro, man. God damn, boy, they can't take no
I
truth.
call them bronze kids.
Yeah, bronze kids. Hey, that's really what they are, man.
Yo, that's good. Yo, because they swear they be acting like they just came out that man's sack for real. They act like that for real.
You know, like I've never seen anything like it. They defend him like he's either their father or their husband. Like I can't figure out which one. So like I know everybody says bronzexual, but I try not to
sexualize it. I got you. Yeah.
I just try, like, when you're talking to men about these things, it's probably it sounds probably more disrespectful for me to say that than
without a doubt.
when you guys are saying that to each other, like, oh, you're glazing LeBron and the glaze and all these things, like, so like we could sit here and go on probably on and on and on about nicknames for LeBron, and the fans.
Facts. You know what? And Ms. Donna, that's why I really appreciate you, because you handle things with a lot more grace. I've been dealing with the bronze kids. I'll use your term for a mighty long time. You know what I mean? And I used to be a LeBron James fan. I think that's the thing that gets lost in the sauce. 2003 to 2009, that was my dog. It was only two people in the world that I liked more than LeBron James, and that was Kobe and Dwayne Wade before he went off the damn rails. But it just after the decision, I
feel like he went off the rails because of LeBron. And I mean, I hate to blame people for, a downfall for another player, because obviously he suffered from injuries and things like that. But I just felt like it hurt his legacy, and it also just kind of, I don't know, I don't think he played amazingly well alongside LeBron. He had to change his game. He became a number 2 option, and I don't think he should have been the number 2 option. Offense should have been ran through Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
And not LeBron James. Just because he was the more reliable scorer. He was a better scorer than LeBron. He was a better even facilitator. Like we saw what he did in 2006, how he rallied that team of, he had a mix of veterans. Like I don't think anybody else would have been able to win with like the kind of washed players that he had at the time. Like Shaq was washed by that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a non-factor in that game 6.
Adam said, as long as nobody from Man Down Sports up here, I'm good. hey, Man Down is extended family, Adam, all right? We ain't going to be doing that. But
hey, Dominique, talk that shit. That was some real shit right there. Because I mean,
excuse me.
Here's my problem when you play with LeBron. I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm dealing with it personally for the last.
It's be really hard.
It's been terrible.
Just because of how the franchise has, been a winning franchise. And when you have someone going over there and that your team is going to be wrecked for several years to come, it's hard to even imagine it, right? And you're a fan of them.
What it is you see all the young talent that you give up because Bron is not patient to deal with the young talent. He likes proven veterans that's got the pedigree, so he doesn't have to carry so much weight. And I think he does that strategically. And hey, by all means. But I'm just mad that you did it to my franchise, because I looked at all the talent that's just got thrown out the door to appease you and what you wanted, and they can make the jokes about the GM. I think it's true, because how is it not true? All right, so look, besides the first run in Cleveland where he got drafted, so he really didn't have too much control, but he had a little bit, because look at all the coaches he went through. But that's neither here nor there. That's another. I'm looking at the roster moves. We can't act like, come on, you picked to go to Miami. You pretty much, let me handpick my teammates with me. You leave, go back to Cleveland, you handpick your people. Then you go to LA, you're handpicking your people. You can't tell me that you have no influence on the roster and how the roster gets managed. You can't tell me that. I can't believe that. Right. Because everywhere you've gone, when LeBron goes, there's an influx of roster movement to appease how people play around him. And with him being so ball dominant, and I understand he's a great facilitator. I still think he has flaws in the offensive game, shooting, free throws, of course. I just think he's a glorified Giannis Antetokounmpo. If he can't get to the rim, I'll take my chances. I'll let you shoot all day. Go ahead. But it's when you look at the influx of talent that just gets thrown out because he wants proven guys, and not only does it set you back because these proven guys are coming in with a high ass salary, so you're about to f up my salary cap. And I got to give you high draft picks to go get those guys. Now you kill my draft capital. So like Dominique said, you have set me back 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then by the time he's gone, that doesn't change the effect of what happened. I still got to deal with what happened while you was here and deal with the loss of capital, whether it's draft or salary cap. And you're off in the hills with your $100 million. So what did you leave me with? A bubble championship? Fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. And that's the dichotomy you get with LeBron. You got to take the good with the bad. And I mean, I look at how the Boston Celtics built. If you think about it, Lonzo Ball and Jason Tatum came out in the same draft. Yeah. And you talk about the young core that they both, I ironically, you give Brandon Ingram, Jordan Clarkson, D'Angelo Russell, Lonzo Ball, Julia. If you give those boys 7 years, we would have got a Lakers Celtics finals probably last year, because everybody would have been developed, would have been who would they been.
The Lakers look like a total different team. They will look like a totally different team. Not only would they be able to compete right now, you can say that they can compete for the foreseeable future.
Oh yeah,
this Lakers team is not a championship team. What are we talking about?
Definitely,
James,
definitely not a contender. And I mean, I agree what you said, especially most of those points. Like, I literally say it all the time that there's no difference between Giannis and LeBron, except the fact that LeBron has a little bit more finesse when he's bum rushing the paint. But the only thing I disagree with that you said is that he's a good facilitator, because if he was a good facilitator, then there would be like a better offense ran, and there would be less turnovers, that the team is suffering. And I don't see how his assists actually lift the team.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's why I don't think he's a good facilitator, and because guys oftentimes play worse alongside him, like D'Angelo Russell. Like,
that is true. That is true.
This kind of plays like poop on and off, right? When LeBron doesn't feel like being held responsible to shooting the ball, then it's somebody else's time to cook, and we'll see D'Angelo Russell have, like some standout games, like, oh, he's finally turning back into himself. But then when LeBron needs to push a narrative or debunk a narrative, then it becomes Bron Ball again, and it's all about him and trying to front run and, not feed the guys the hot hand the ball because he wants to be responsible for that win. So I don't think he's a good facilitator at all. I actually don't believe in the basketball IQ that everybody says that he has, and that's just because he didn't go to college. I think that had he went to college and even just spent 1 year there, he might have become probably the greatest basketball player that we've ever seen, because the size and the physical capability is there. I mean, he's been bum rushing the lane for 22 years, but imagine if he knew how to play in a triangle offense. Imagine if he knew how to play in any offense other than high screen, drive and kick and bum rush the lane. It's those three things that we see all the time, and it never really changes. And then he's like Caitlin Clark, where he's throwing these wild passes that become turnovers. Like even today, if you watch the game against Brazil, there was a sick pass that he threw, and in that same sequence, it was a turnover.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you got some great points, Dominique, because I know the thing about Bron, and thanks for enlightening me, because so let me rephrase. I think he is a good facilitator when he has a good shooter. And the reason why I say that is because he's going to leave you with 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and only a good shooter can work with that. All right. So
that's Kyrie Irving. That's Kyrie Irving. So much. That he's the only guard that's ever been able to play with LeBron and have any kind of success. But I mean, what kind of life was that for him?
Oh, well, he ran from it. He couldn't wait to get away from him.
Yeah.
So
Kobe as soon as he won, like, hey, how you get me out of this situation now?
Dominique has a true point. It didn't affect Kyrie to the point that he was able to still play his game and not having that short shot clock affect his game, because that's how electric Kyrie is. Not everybody.
And I think really there's always one, like when you think about it, wild card, there's always room for one superstar playing with LeBron. There's room for one more, because he can't possibly score the ball. He can't do everything. So he will allow himself to make room for that one other superstar. But you can never have a big three with LeBron. It doesn't really work. Mm-hmm. Chris Bosh became a complete shell of himself.
A total different player. Because Chris Bosh.
We're talking about he was paired with 2 number 1 options. Mm-hmm. So you have 3 number 1 options on the Miami Heat.
Somebody could take a backseat.
But backseat is like you literally teamed up with 2 other number 1 options, and Chris Bosh became the blame and memes for several years. Over the next 4 years, he was the blame for any time they lost. He was all kinds of different names, right?
No, that's facts. Mm-hmm. That's facts. But we forget we forget. So here's my biggest gripe about the Bronze kids. They'll talk about the all-time leader in points. Cool, have your 40,000 points. He'll have his name at the end of a lot of statistics that'll be important. But here's the stat column that I think they always forget. He's going to finish career-wise with the most turnovers.
Nobody cares about it. Even people calling to man down saying that we're going to bypass turnovers.
How? We can't.
Kids, Caitlin Clark's fans, like they don't care about that. They think that if you have the ball in your hands as much as LeBron does, that you're entitled to turn the ball over. That's what they actually believe. They believe that because he can score the ball.
That's not basketball.
I'm telling you, there's so many.
Not basketball.
There's so many LeBron fans that believe that just completely ignore the turnovers. They don't care about that. I mean, even when you look at analysts on TV, instead, the ones that really don't believe that he's the GOAT, they say he's number 2. What about him as number 2? He's not number 1 or 2. He's not number 10.
I think to the Bronze kids, 40,000 points is a great feat. But 5,000 turnovers is a longevity stat. That's how they fix it up in their heads. And
that's wild, bro.
You can't really mess with that. I mean, you can't really have a logical conversation with that kind of thinking, because it's like, well, my whole problem was no matter who you was, Michael Jordan, Kobe, everybody was subject to criticism. As good as Jordan was.
But it's only hate when we're talking about LeBron.
Precisely.
It's only hate. Nobody else got any hate when they had narratives that Jordan was just a scorer, that he'd never be able to win a title. All he could do is score the ball. Not only did he get 10 straight scoring titles in a row, he also had 2 3-peats in the history of his career. And people will go, oh, everybody acts like Michael Jordan's career was only for 6 seasons. Nobody acts like that, actually. It's just that early in his career, he was losing. He lost a lot. He lost the first 7 straight years of his career. And then when he started to win, he didn't stop winning. And that's called dominance. That's dominance and wins. And I think that, we don't don't see that really anymore, and definitely not in LeBron. His winning he's just not dominant in winning. He's not dominant in even his statistics. He's only has one scoring title.
Mm-hmm.
He only has one scoring title, yet we're calling him the greatest scorer that ever lived. And you know,
I think
he
that's
played
wild.
for 22 years, and he played as the number one option. He also played as a point guard, racking up points, rebounds, and assists. And that's the stat line that everybody only cares about, and that's because of LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
You know, field goal percentages, rebounds, like offensive and defensive, turnovers, those things matter. Your efficiency on the court, it matters. It's not just points, rebounds, and assists. I'm looking at steals. How defensive were you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at blocks. I'm looking at all the stats that count. I'm looking at the minutes that you played. So you need to play, 44 minutes a game, every single game, to rack up those stats. If you sit down, you can't get back in rhythm.
Right. I want to it kind of segues us into this next segment because Anthony Price. Oh yeah, Miss Dom, man. And I really, we really got to come up with her. You know how you on a basketball team, you got to come up with your
He's on
nickname.
fire.
You got to come up with a nickname for you, Dom.
No,
Like you got to be something efficient that encompasses your genius and the beauty and the grace. So it's like, hey, I ain't got nothing yet. Beyonce, or maybe you Beyonce of sports talk.
Cooking, dog.
Off topic, if you think if Angel Reese was white, she would be the number one star in the WNBA?
Before we get to that one, before we get to that segment, I'm sorry. I wanted to acknowledge Anthony Price. No, Adam asked a question that kind of gets right into this next segment real quick. But
love that question, Adam. Great question.
Yes, he was asking who, because we're behind on a couple comments. I'm sorry. Is that the one? Who do you think is the best player on the Olympic team?
KD.
I'm going to say ladies first, but I think I already know Ms. Dom's opinion on that.
Come on, man. Why are we having this conversation? Adam, I love your question, but come on. You watch it.
I think so. I'm going to go in a different direction, actually, and I'm going to say Anthony Edwards, and only just because he's younger, because we see the magic that him and Kevin Durant create together off the bench. But I do. So like Kevin Durant is the best player, the most accomplished Olympian on the team. I think definitely like he's the best player on the team. But I guess like when we take him out of the conversation, the way we almost take Michael Jordan out of conversation sometimes, like it's Anthony Edwards, like he's next up. And we saw what he did in FIBA last summer. And we see him ascending. We see him flying. I think he had the most iconic like dunks in the Olympics that we've seen this, in these games. So there were sequences. I think basketball is about moments, right? So I think Anthony Edwards had some of the best moments that we've seen. That windmill dunk, he's bringing the slam dunk back.
That was crazy
and
too.
His game, and his game is a mixture of perimeter shooting, getting inside to the rim. Like when people say that, oh, like he reminds me of Michael Jordan, we can see why. Because he doesn't have one game. He's he has a dynamic game.
I'm telling y'all, Rick, while we talking about Anthony Edwards, I'm waiting on the first game between Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant for that face of the franchise or the face of the league, because I think that Anthony Edwards, man, he really making his case for it. But before then, this time last year, everybody was singing Ja Morant's praises. So
I love Ja Morant. I really love Ja Morant, but I call him Weavy Wonder. I don't think that he's I don't really have any respect for how he's been carrying himself. Yeah. There's no reason for him to be carrying guns. There's no reason for him to be acting like that before or after games. Get a hold of yourself. Be a professional.
Toy guns, allegedly, Ms. Nam.
Toy guns, real guns. I don't care what he was doing. Like, you need to be focused on the task at hand. You are not a champion yet. So what are you doing being pictured and storied in the strip club with a gun?
I will say this, just to
get yourself, in the lab with your team, focus on being a team leader and win a title. And then maybe you start playing around. Michael Jordan was drinking, gambling. Motherfucker won a title. Multiple.
Yeah, on that time. I will give Ja Morant just a little bill because as a big bro, I got little brothers in these streets. If you would have gave me $50 million at 22, 23 years old, I'm on the internet. Look at what I'm. I'm probably
With guns, but you're on the internet
I
with
don't know
guns
about. I
though.
don't know about guns, but
When
I'm
you're
watching
supposed to
that.
be a role model to young kids, and you weren't raised that way. So
Yeah.
he wasn't raised in the street. So
Yeah.
why are you taking to that now when your life is different? Your
Bingo.
life has nothing to do with that. That's what bothers me about John Moran. It would be one thing if he couldn't escape a life that he's always known. He grew up in a big ass house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He had good parents. I believe his parents are still married. He
Mm-hmm.
has no reason to be involved in these things. So I don't feel bad for the backlash that he received as a result of it. And he just should have never put himself in that place. Be a leader, not a follower. He's a
Bingo.
follower, and how are you a follower when you're the big homie in your crew? You make all the money, and you're out here following broke ass people that want to tote guns and be fake tough.
Yeah. That's the thing. When you're
It's
not
ironic.
It's a lot tougher though to lead yourself. It's a lot tougher not to follow the pack. It's a lot tougher to, reach back and lift up other people. And that's what I want to see from John Moran. I don't care about anything else. And I honestly don't care about what he's doing off the court. Come
Yeah.
into the league and win a title. But these off court situations are causing us to have to even examine them. Where these off-court situations are leaving him, abandoning his team. And he has a good team, and he's wasting time. You cannot waste time. You cannot guarantee that players are going to be healthy. You cannot guarantee that all the pieces are going to click and fit. And how is that team supposed to respect him as the leader when this is his behavior? People are like, oh, he reminds me of Allen Iverson, another ruined legacy. Does he want to turn into that? Does he want to be in China playing in year 15 when he could still be in the NBA? Because he's worried about, bringing 50 people deep into, wherever he is. And, I miss the professionalism in the NBA. I really do. I miss the professionalism in the NBA. That's what guys like Michael Jordan and a slew of other guys brought, were professionalism. They showed up in suits. They showed up like they were a business for the NBA, and they had some pride in their work and what they do. And, I wasn't a huge fan of how Iverson carried himself, or now John Morant. And there are similarities. And I think John Morant's going to tarnish his legacy if he doesn't turn it around. And I think he can turn it around. He has the ability to do that because he's still in the NBA. But I just wonder, I feel like he needs to get traded and start over somewhere else like Kyrie.
I agree. That's a good point. What you say to that? Well, Anthony Price say this guy's a gangster.
No, that's what I said. His real name is Clarence. No, Dominique hit it all in the head. She's like I said, she's cooking tonight. So I mean, John Morant, for him to have so much talent. Oh, so here's two things that are bothering me with Ja. Obviously, everything that Ms. Dominique said with the off the field, off the court issues. That's a whole nother ball field of stupidity that I just don't understand. The other thing is I think he needs to, when it comes to his actual basketball game, he has to refine it and be more all around and more versed in all around game, because you can't dunk on everybody. And we noticing with him, he's trying to dunk on everybody and trying to go to the lane. Bro, get your midi. He would be a beast if he had a midi.
He's gonna be injured. Like he's gonna get jumper's knee like Derrick Rose, like loads of other guys, and he's not gonna be able to make it 20, 22 years in the league.
No, because he's hurt, because he think he could jump over everybody. You can't jump and leap over everybody, and you hit in the ground every play. Like, get your midi, preserve some years on your knees, preserve some years on your basketball life, because it's. Boy, you keep getting these knee injuries, these elbow injuries, these tendons, ACLs, whatever, because you think you can leap over everybody, and you keep falling down on the ground and hyperextending knees and joints. Bro, go look at Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy had the potential to be phenomenal. Kobe Bryant, out of his own mouth, said the dude was a problem. He could have been on Kobe Bryant's level. Injuries took him out. Now with John Morant, because he's so reckless with his body, almost like a Jayden Daniels, just throwing his body to the whim on the court. I'm like, bro, are you trying to make it 10 years in the league? Because I understand you got the extension. Okay, it looks good, but you can get the Supermax. You're not going to be around to get the Supermax the way you throw your body around. So there's two things that's wrong with Ja. obviously get the all off the court crap cleaned up. Smarten up. Come on, smarten up. And then
And take
two,
out the weave.
Weavy Wonder. Yeah. He be killing me with that. I'm like, I know that's the new thing with the young boys, with all the
Not
colors and
attractive at all.
yeah.
take out the
And speaking of that, real quick, man.
Go back to your baby mom. He leaves, a woman like that. She's, seems so great. She was also an athlete, and to chase around Drake's sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
title still. He has no title, got blown off the floor by the Warriors when he had a chance to ascend. And
no MVP, no rookie of the year, no really huge accolades, really.
He's literally turning into Allen Iverson.
You got a contract extension, I guess. That's what you're playing for. If you're playing for money, cool. I'll never knock nobody's hustle to go get your bread. Because I like money too.
He seems like he's giving it to whatever gang he's a part of. Like I feel like he lives for the gang and whatever that gang is. And I don't really I really don't have that much respect for Ja Morant right now until he turns it around. I need to see him come out and ball. And I know, look, when he came back from the suspension, he was balling, what was it, 1 or 2 games, and then went right back out injured. I mean, it is sad, but like Allen Iverson at least went to the finals. Won scoring titles. Like, I don't see Ja Morant doing any of that. So he's even lesser than Allen Iverson.
Smarten up, Ja. Come on, smarten up, baby.
And please take out the weave. I'm just waiting for like there to be a game where I see one of those colored locks on the floor.
What's up, Wild Wade? My God, that's funny.
Now I'm cooking tonight.
Yes, yes.
That is so let me ask y'all, kind of segueing into the next question. I guess we can kind of ride off of what A Price said as far as his off-topic question. Where was it?
I go back up. He was asking the face of the WNBA. Why you look for it? Because I remember the question. Here's my thing, and I get what you're trying to ask, Anthony Price. But to really answer your question, I think the face of the league is still A'ja Wilson. So at this point, I don't think the race even matters, because Caitlin Clark can get all the hype that she wants from her Clark fans, but she's not the face of the WNBA. That's A'ja Wilson. We talking about
the Clarkian she is.
Come on, bro. No.
They ready.
But I'm talking about to basketball people that watch basketball. Yeah. A'ja Wilson is the face of the WNBA. She's been the face of the WNBA the last few years. There's and you could throw Breanna Stewart in there. You could throw her name in there if you want to, because she's won some MVPs over the last couple of years. Cool, but it's primarily A'ja Wilson. She's gonna walk away with the MVP this year. Walk away with it. It's not even gonna be close. There's nobody else balling like her in the WNBA this year. Not Breanna, not Sabrina, not Aaliyah, not even Caitlin. So to really answer your question, AP, I don't think race even matters in this, because neither one of them are the face of the WNBA. This is A'ja's league, and as long as she's at the top, and as long as she keeps winning with the Aces, it'll be hers for as long as she foresees it, until she decides to give it away to somebody else. So it's hers.
She might be MVP and win another title all in the same season. And I couldn't agree with you more. A'ja Wilson is for sure the face of the league. She's the best player in the world for women. I think her and Breanna Stewart are, to me, neck and neck for who's the best on the women's Olympic team, because they've both just been playing really spectacular. But it sucks because, I'm from New York, and I think that because of A'ja Wilson and her dominance, that the Liberty are just never going to win a title as long as she is playing and healthy, unless, they get a really big piece to add. But I don't see, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, I understand that people want to call them the Magic and the bird of the W, and I'm fine with that. I think that that's really cool, and I think that that's a great kind of label to have on your back, right? But I mean, I don't even think that Caitlin Clark is top 20 in the W.
Talk about it.
Aretha is better than her. Jewel Lloyd is better than her. Like every single guard that
Oh,
is.
you keep going.
We have to remember. We have to remember that there's only 12 teams in the W.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So because of that, every single person who's in that league is a great player. They were, a rock star in high school and or probably college. I see Caitlin Clark struggling quite a bit. I created some content surrounding this as well. And I mean, she's running away with the turnover record. It's not even like we're only 26 games into their season and she has 146 turnovers. So she's on pace to get upwards of 300 turnovers.
Ooh, talk about it.
The second single most turnovers in a single season is held by it's held by Alyssa Thomas with 136 for a full season. So that's the second highest, and that's for a full season. So she beat the turnover record already halfway through.
Yeah, they still got another half to play.
She plays like LeBron. They load her up for the points, the rebounds, assists, that stat line. She gets to guard, the weakest player on the opposite team, the worst shooter who's typically relegated to the corner. She gets long, lazy rebounds. She doesn't even box out for them. Where I think that she shines is her ability to pass. Even though she's running away with the turnover record, she makes some really cool passes. And I think her logo threes are really exciting to watch. And I think that that's what captivates people. But I mean, she has even more delusional fans than LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
And it's mainly because she has the Trump fans. The same people who like Caitlin Clark are Trump fans. They love her in a way. They're not even watching basketball.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of them give a bunch of misinformation. I think there was this guy on Outkick that he was just like saying that, Dawn Staley and her angry group of lesbians were like picking on Caitlin, this, nice straight white girl. Like they make all these narratives and there's all this, hype around Caitlin Clark. And really, these girls in the W are just competing against her.
Right.
If somebody says, a particular person is the best, you want to prove why you're better. That's competition. That's the women's league. It's always been the best. Like, honestly, WNBA is probably the best league in the world.
Yeah.
And I know that that's probably a super hot take, but, and I know it doesn't make money, but those grassroots organizations, those, hole in the wall restaurants, right, that, don't have the most beautiful space, don't have the best resources, those are sometimes the best restaurants, right? So WNBA is definitely one of the best leagues. I don't care, who's going to tell me they don't watch. They refuse to watch women's basketball. That's great. They have grit. They have passion. They have competition. They have, everything that the men's league is lacking. Real defense, complete games where all 5 positions play on the court, not positionless basketball, not bullshit point forwards because guys, can't actually play a position in organized basketball.
You know what I say about the WNBA, Ms. Dom, just to kind of segue off your point is the people that are upset with the WNBA or whatever, it's because you're going in there with that NBA expectation. Now, when I watch high school basketball players, I enjoy it for what it is. I'm not expecting no 17-year-old to be jumping out the gym like Anthony Edwards, right? You enjoy the kids at where they are. Just like you got to learn how to enjoy the ladies at where they are. Of course, in someone's opinion, they might not be as athletic or skilled, but for the product that for what they are putting forth, it's like, man, I'm more entertained with this. Aside from some of the air balls, sometimes the air ball and be like, "Yo, you was wide open," but
hey,
you could tease anything. These NBA dudes soft, what I mean? Like y'all cry to the refs for every play, man. This is the signature, you know what I mean? Like every time something happened.
Do you remember wild card? Do you remember when Andre Drummond was playing for your Lakers, and then like within his first 5 games, he had to sit out because he had an ingrown toenail?
It was crazy. It
really.
Yes, bro.
I did not know that.
Ingrown toenail, bro. Like the thing about. So here's the thing. Here's why Dominique is so 100% right. It's because WNBA, these women are playing basketball in its purest form. There's no agenda. There's no stat pattern. Well, besides the Miss CC, but there's no. It's all the elements of basketball that goes into it: rebounding, defense, offense, and steals. Uh, every aspect of basketball is shown, and I think the masses that hate the WNBA is because, like you said, Tony, they're expecting WNBA quality to look like the NBA. I'm glad it's not.
Amen.
Because I barely don't even watch the NBA. I watch, of course, come playoff time, because obviously we're content creators. We got to talk about NBA playoffs, fine.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I can't watch the shit. I can't watch guys throw up 90 attempts behind the arc and make 25% of it. That is not basketball. If I want to see buffoonery, clownery, I will go to a Barnum and Bailey's. I will go to Universal Circus. I'll do all that. I will go to a clown show. I got the American Royal out here in Kansas City. I will go to that. When I watch basketball, I want to watch basketball. That's why I've been a huge fan of the WNBA. It's been fans like us that's been keeping the WNBA alive for the last 27 years. Don't sit here and act like Caitlin Clark has been the savior for a league that's been around for 27 years. It's been around longer before she's been on the earth.
Exactly.
Stop doing this. We're not going to do this. We can't give one person credit for the longevity of something that's already been around before she even came out the nutsack. We're not going to do that.
We can't give one person credit for being the best of all time when they never actually won anything.
They won a damn thing.
Player of the year and a supposed scoring title. And I say supposed because Lynn Woodard has that record. She actually scored the most points in college. Okay. And she played with the men's ball and they had no 3-point line. So she had more points than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark didn't really beat her record. And she begged her to beat it with a men's basketball and no 3-point line.
Yeah.
So, and everybody, what did they do? They came out and called her a hater, but it's true. The NCAA wasn't actually, they didn't call it that. It wasn't officially the NCAA, but she actually has the record. And, Caitlin Clark never won a title in college. And I think it's really important. And I don't care what anybody says. Oh, she dragged her team to Final Four and title games, but she played in a very weak conference. And again, the players on her team were there to be in support of her. Kate Martin, she went to the Aces and she went off. She doesn't play much, but when she does, she balls and she's very efficient. She was a much better player than what she got credit for. I actually think she's better than Caitlin Clark, but she wasn't able, her skill set wasn't able to be, put on display. When you turn the ball over, when you shoot wild shots, when you make bad passes, your ass is sitting right next to me on the bench. And I think that that's what Caitlin Clark needs to actually get better and to, really improve her game, is to not be rewarded by constantly starting and playing massive minutes. She has to play 40 minutes just to get 30 points. Whereas do you know how efficient WNBA players are? Do you know how many of them only play 25 minutes a game and can drop 30?
Arika Goombale.
Arike, Jewel Lloyd, like these ladies can shoot it. And, Caitlin Clark hasn't put any of that on display this season. Any game where she scored 30 or close to 30, they typically lost. I think she only had one game where she was a high scorer and they won the game.
Yep.
And that might have been against the Mystics or, some team that really, or it might have been against Dallas Wings, a team that basically could not defend. And there's one or two teams in the W that don't play very good defense. And I think it's Dallas and I think it's the Mystics. No, they can't guard her, but people make it seem like all she gets is double teamed. We've seen her guarded one-on-one, just getting stripped by just going up the court.
In college.
Raven Johnson guarded her one-on-one. She was smaller. She's a smaller player. Why? What's the issue?
Clamped her down.
Clamped her up.
Getting locked up, won't let her out. Locked up.
She gave her fits during that game.
I think the All-Star game was if you're really a basketball fan, you really know what you're watching. I think the All-Star game told a lot of truth.
Do you know they just still said that she played well?
Well,
and Mel said it best on Man Down. She went from being Steph Curry And then when the whole world saw her go 0 for 5 in All-Star, and I think she got 10 assists in that game.
Mm-hmm.
She
Enrique.
went to becoming Steph, to becoming John Stockton. So now she's now she's the best passer. Yeah. So, but when she runs away with the turnover record, because John Stockton never had 300 turnovers in a season. I don't think he had 146 turnovers in a season ever. He was never. He's not top 5 in turnovers. He's not on the all-time list. So, when you look at that, what are they going to say next? She's a great mother and fiance, or she's a great philanthropist.
Hey, they do it for LeBron. Don't act like they don't do it for LeBron. Hey, he a great dad, and this, that, and another.
She's the female LeBron right now. The way LeBron came into the league, all the media hyping him up, all of the expectations and pressure that was put on him, they created a media machine surrounding his talent.
Bobby G, my brother.
Bobby G, what's going on, big bro? Well, we cooking tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are cooking. I think the people are thoroughly entertained. Just real quick, how do you all foresee the second half? I mean, if I could just throw this out there real quick, bias. I think that both the young ladies are going to make it. Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever. They might make it as the 2 bottom seeds. Whoever got to line up with the aces, smoke them. They'll be the first round exit easily. But I got a hot take right now. I do think that the Chicago Sky will go further in the playoffs, and I think that's going to be another telltale truth. But I also think that even with that happening, Caitlin Clark is going to get the Rookie of the Year award anyway. But how do you all see it playing out? Because I think the top is going to be, what it is, Aces, Liberty, Minnesota, and the Kinetic Sun. I think they locked up the first 4 seeds. But how y'all see that bottom 4 going?
It's a foregone conclusion that Clark is going to get Rookie of the Year. That's not even.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He has the backing of the most powerful members in the media saying that the entire WNBA is jealous of her. They're hating on her, because she's white. All different kinds of things, right? They're saying all of these things about Caitlin Clark. Stephen A. Smith is supporting her. Shannon Sharp is supporting. Literally, all the major media members are saying she's Rookie of the Year, and some of them are even saying that she deserves to be MVP.
Yeah, I've heard that too, which is wild. How did y'all?
when we played that soundbite on Man Down, I almost fell out because I couldn't believe that they had the nerve to say that she should be in the conversation for MVP. She should not be Rookie of the Year. Honestly, before Cameron Brink got injured, I had her Rookie of the Year over Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. She was playing very efficient. She just looked like what I want Brittany Griner to look like on the Olympic team right now. She was just balling. She brings a lot. And it's interesting to me that because she, is kind of like mentored by a lot of different Black people, that she wasn't, revered the way that Clark is revered. Because she's a straight white female. So I don't understand why she's not a straight white hype, but I think it's her association, affiliation, and even speaking out, saying that they're not even the best rookie class in the last decade.
Yeah.
She came out and said that. So I thought that was really, really interesting. But I do think that Caitlin Clark's going to win Rookie of the Year just because the media is behind her. Nike is pushing her and requiring the media to deliver this Rookie of the Year for her. Yeah. She's got like a $28 million contract with them. They're not letting Rookie of the Year escape her. Angel Reese deserves it at this point. Now that Brink is injured, Angel Reese should be running away with that. Would she get 14 straight double doubles? That's an all-time record, not a rookie record. Again, I just don't think that Caitlin's playing at a high level this season. She's, she needs to bake a little bit more in the WNBA to be considered for any award, if you ask me.
Respectfully.
But, I think that she is a great player. She wouldn't have been able to make it to the WNBA if she wasn't. It's just too saturated with really great talent. There's not enough spots. The scoring, I think it was the NCAA scoring leader was cut from the Aces. Deja Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Male stupid, bro.
I was gonna say, shout out to Big Bro. He in the chat. Say salute Thug Life. And shout out to Man
Shout
Down.
out to Mel and Man Down. Check them out on Friday, the full panel. I'm sure Mel probably had a solo show today, or maybe it's going to drop tomorrow, but check us out over there on Man Down. But yeah, straight white hype. That's what Caitlin Clark is. And, you know, they're not letting it go.
Bobby G dropped Stockton did have 300 turnovers once and led the league in turnovers once as well. But that's an 82 game season compared to a 40 game season. And Caitlin Clark is running away. Just real quick, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go through the.
Thanks for that correction, Bobby G. But I don't think that he's top 5 in all time turnovers.
No, he's not.
No, not before. Efficient. He's top. I think 5 in steals and assists.
Right. And when you turn around and you have a 300 turnover season, you want to make sure that never happens again. I bet he never had a season like that again. Caitlin Clark doesn't care because her fans are gonna abandon the turnover record. We're just gonna gloss over it. We're gonna bypass the turnovers. That's what they told us on Man Down.
Well, what you see, this is her game. That's her game. Can you improve on certain things? Yeah, but for the most part, that's her foundation of her game, and that's
she
pretty
needs
much
to work on her handle, though.
Oh well, yeah,
She needs to work on her ball handling, and she needs to take better care of the ball in order for her to even be close to, you know, getting her team into contention, because they have the pieces. They have 3 all-stars on their team.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they do. Yeah, that's something else some people don't talk about. Like she got a lot more help. I think it was Chris. Shout out to Casanova. He made a good point that I've been running with. You know, I've been regurgitating like I came up with it. But Caitlin Clark is the number 1 facilitator and scoring option. Angel Reese, every night, as long as Kennedy Carter is healthy, she's going to be the 2nd or 3rd option, given if somebody else is hot. And also, you know, she's the number 1 defender every night. And most times in the 4th quarter, Caitlin Clark, I think you said this, Dom, Caitlin Clark disappears. Angel Reese usually does her most work in the 4th quarter, whether it's them rebounds, whether it's getting a nice bucket. So, but
and
you know,
the last defensive option on her team.
Yeah,
she barely defends. She's the last defensive option, and really, she's the 3rd offensive option on her team. I don't give her first offensive option when that is Aaliyah Boston, and the 2nd would be Kelsey Mitchell.
But that's not how they decorate the offense. You know, she bringing the ball up and taking them shots, logo 3.
Yeah, but she's like, you know, like if she's playing the right way, she's going to have a stat line of, you know, 10 points, you know, a couple rebounds, and she should have 10 assists.
Yeah, right. Easy.
What Mel said, does a great player having a lot of turnovers make that stat a good stat, or are turnovers still bad? Y'all get that question?
No, he's asking, does a great player having a lot of turnovers make the stat a good stat, or are turnovers still bad? Knowing Mel, he's asking the importance of this turnover stat.
Okay.
And for me, like we said earlier, and I agree with Dominique, turnovers matter. How do they not? You're giving away possessions. You're taking away points from your team. You're definitely giving points to the other team. So you can easily affect your win-loss column easily with turnovers.
It erases the assist.
Exactly.
If you have, you know, 10 turnovers in a game and 10 assists, then and the other team scored on those assists. That's the problem that I also have, is that they lost a lot of games because of her turnovers. Teams scored on those turnovers. So if they were turnovers that were empty, that's something different.
Right.
Like Cynthia Cooper, I think in her debut game, she had 7 turnovers and they still won that game. That's the difference. Nobody cares about turnovers when you're winning. So if you won in spite of the turnovers because teams couldn't actually score in transition on you, then that's something different. But that's not the case with Caitlin. She gets beat on defense, and that's why teams can score as well.
That's why they're 11 and 15. That's why 11 and 15. If you take away probably half of those turnovers, you could probably squeeze maybe instead of 11 and 15, you're probably more closer to 500, maybe a couple of games above it. I mean, so when it comes to the second half of the season now, and I just don't want to talk about Caitlin in general. I just think, especially coming off the Olympics, I wouldn't be surprised to see just a runaway between the Liberty and the Aces. I just hate to say it because to Dominique's point, when you see how Brianna, how Stewie and Asia Wilson are playing, and they were already coming into the Olympics on a high clip, playing damn good MVP basketball. I can't see them slowing down. So coming out of the Olympic break and they get back to WNBA play, they haven't lost a step. They're still cooking. Unfortunately for Caitlin Clark, she's on vacation. She's on hiatus. She's going to have to get back in rhythm. Unfortunately for Angel Reese, she's on vacation. She's going to have to get back in rhythm. Right. So some of these people, some of these ladies who are not on the Olympic team, you're going to have to see a point in their game that they're going to have to get back in rhythm. And when you see Sabrina's on that Olympic team, so her and Stewie, they're going to continue to cook. I just see, unfortunately, I like the Connecticut Sun. I like the Minnesota Lynx. I love the Seattle team. I love all 12 teams, but there's only one winner. And unfortunately, I see a repeat of the NBA Finals last year where you see the Aces and the Liberty doing battle. And then it comes down to, tit for tat, who has the best roster playing the hot hand in that point in time when he comes down to that point in the season. But when these ladies are coming off this phenomenal performance that they're doing in the Olympics and they already came in hot, I just can't see teams like the Aces or the Liberty cooling off and not carrying that momentum through the second half and through the rest of the postseason. So I hate to be the Debbie Downer and say there won't be no suspense in the WNBA playoffs. I just don't see any suspense. I just don't. But I mean,
I would love to see though Connecticut Sun.
Oh yeah,
face the Aces. That's what I would love to see. Dejanay Carrington, she's just a great defender. She's got a great personality. Like, I am ready to see something different in the finals this year. But if it's Liberty versus Aces, that's going to be a good series. We know they're going to battle it out, but the Aces, the Liberty just can't beat the Aces.
Yeah.
It's not really, to me, it's not really close. Breanna Stewart is amazing. What she's doing right now in Olympic play is incredible, and I think she's a great player. But I don't see them beating the Aces. And I do want to address Bobby G in his comment because, he's making a lot of excuses for Caitlin Clark. And I think that that's what Mel is trying to point out, that, yes, I did bring up John Stockton, and I mentioned that he probably never had as many turnovers as she did, but he, come to find out, he led the league in turnovers one time. I totally get that, but I believe that Clark is going to probably lead the WNBA for her entire career in turnovers. I don't think her style of play is going to change. And I don't think that the WNBA is, I don't think as long as these women are in the league that they're going to stop defending her.
Oh, no. She'll have
from her. And, I just don't think that I don't foresee a moment where she's going to be able to handle pressure defense. She's never been able to, not in college and not in the WNBA. We saw her, be guarded, full court press. She could not handle it. Do her fans really believe that she would have been able to take the hard hits that Chelsea Gray took from Japan going up the court? They defended her full court.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Real quick, I'm sorry. And I want you to cook, big bro. I just want to shout out to my brother, Real Goons TV. It's one of my brothers in this thing. He be doing his thing on the content. Make sure y'all swing by his channel as well. Subscribe as well. To Man Down Sports. But go ahead, big bro.
No,
so they also mentioned though, the Bobby G in the comments, he mentioned that the players, they don't get any time off.
Yeah.
The women never had time off. They've always played overseas and directly into the league. So, again, we're making an excuse for Caitlin Clark, and none of the WNBA players have had the time to recover before heading into the season. Do you think that Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, that they had time to recover after winning back-to-back titles? in their college career before heading into the WNBA. When you're coming off of a title, you get even less time to recover.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit like, why do we have to make excuses for Caitlin Clark the way that we do LeBron? Why is she so protected? She's not playing well. Can we just say that she's not playing well? I'm okay if someone says, hey, she's a rookie, but she's not playing well as a rookie.
Yeah. It's
Well,
take some time.
Here's also another issue that I have, and I love Caitlin Clark. I think she's sooner down the road she'll get better. Yeah, but here's the problem that I have with her fans. These aren't basketball people. These are people that just tuned in to college basketball 2 years when they made her a big deal on ESPN. These are people that just tuned in for the last 2 years of the women's basketball tournament because what's the hoopla of this girl from Iowa? What's the hoopla about?
This what triggered them, be real right there. That's when everybody became a Caitlin Clark fan, because that's when she became a victim. And all of a sudden,
Who's picking on our straight white hype?
You dig?
So exactly. Angry lesbians are after her.
So here's the deal.
For real.
So I watch a lot of professional wrestling. All right. You got a heel and you got a face. You got a good guy, you got a bad guy. They're making Caitlyn the face. They're making her the good girl. They're making Angel Reese the heel, the bad girl. And I think the media is playing on it. And is not necessarily the ladies that asked for it. It's the media, and I'm kind of coming out of kind of left field with this. I'm kind of glad Skip Bayless is leaving because there's less fools that come with the idiotic rhetoric that comes out of his mouth is less them.
Yeah.
All right. It's one less. So how I see it is cats like us.
Who's left to tell the truth about LeBron?
Whoa, man, I didn't interject because me and Dom had a conversation about this. This is what I was saying. It's important that you have independent content creators. Now we don't need a Skip.
I'm talking about mainstream media, though, because mainstream media doesn't care about what you and I have to say. I mean, they might, right? But who's left in the mainstream that's going to tell the truth about LeBron? Everybody works for Clutch. Even, when I found out that Chris Broussard works for Clutch, again, I almost fell out. I couldn't believe it because for years he was saying that LeBron is not the GOAT. And now we don't really hear him saying it at all. Yeah. We know what he believes, but we also know that he's not going to speak out and say, what's really going on with him. And of course, the dynamic of the odd couple, it works that way where Broussard is they try to tell the truth as much as they can, but we see what happens when you're paid by Clutch Sports.
Yeah. And just to finish my statement, and I see Man Down, Mel is getting to it. When you have less people who are spewing this rhetoric that are narrative driven on your FS1, your ESPNs, that's why I think it's important of what we're doing. And Tony Savant and the content that I create, Dominique and Man Down and everybody else, me and Bobby G make great content. I think that's why we are important. So when I was happy, I'm like, Skip leaving? Oh, that's one less fool we got to compete with. That's one less fool that we have to worry about in our way of what we try to do. Because there's going to be a point in time where people are going to come to YouTube and see the content that we create and be like, yo, these jokers spitting some real shit. When I tune in to Man Down on Friday nights, I already know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get some real shit. When Dominique's on that panel with Mel and Chris and Jay and Eric and whoever else comes on, I know I'm gonna get some real shit. When I tune into my guy Tony, I'm gonna get some real shit. It comes to a point in time where we have to come together and say, man, stop falling for the bullshit of these narrative-driven talking heads and talk sports. Talk the realness, the pureness, and what it's supposed to be about. If we want to sit there and talk about the WWE part of it, cool, we can do that. But that's not the basis of it. The entertainment part is fine because we know that's what drives the money. That's what brings the bottom line. Cool. We can have that conversation. But when we talk about the actual sport that is being talked about, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, hell, if we talking cricket, I don't know much about it, but I'm gonna figure it out. But if we talking cricket, let me talk about the basis of that sport and put the conversation of the media part and the entertainment part to the side. That's a separate conversation. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes of that sport, which is really what matters. And so when we talk about WNBA, Caitlyn's going to be cool. Let her have the accolades and hype her up and talk her. And I don't give a damn. Hand her the rookie of the year. But real ones know. The real ones know. If you watching the game, because we all got been given 2 eyes that God has given us, we can use them and see without a shadow of a doubt. Man, Angel Reese been balling. If Cameron Brink didn't get injured, she's a runaway with this title. We know what's up. So that's why it's important what we do.
And to segue off to that, me and Dom had a conversation earlier, and that's what I was trying to express. So, of course, right now, Dom, we're the grassroots, political party. We go, but one day you keep fighting for the right cause. Because my aspiration is my son is 5 years old right now. But eventually, when he's going to be 15, and he's going to be on the internet, and he's going to see he might see a lot of Chris Broussard, Stephen Smith, and all them capping. But then eventually he's gonna be like, well, this don't sound right. And okay, Dad, we're doing this, and Uncle Lamar, Aunt Dom, you know what I mean? Now you getting the truth and you getting the lie. But now you got to determine which one you gonna ride with, because that's all it is at the end of the day. The Bron sexuals know the truth. Excuse me, the Bron kids know the truth. But they elect. They know what they're saying. They elect to choose the lie. So it's the matter of the fact that you have to. We doing God's work. We doing God's work. So,
hey, Jeffrey, you gonna have to school me on cricket, bro. I don't know about it, but once I figure it out and we start talking about it, we gonna talk about it for real, for the purity of it, dog. So,
wicked 6 stitches and overs. I don't know what that means.
I know it's cricket terms, but I don't know much about cricket. But I mean, I watch a lot of sports. But at the end of the day, you can't fool a person that knows the real and can think on their own. You know what I'm saying? You can't, gloss over and, hey, Omar, what's happening, bro? You can't fool those that really know. And when real, like Riley said on the Boondocks, real recognize real, and you niggas looking unfamiliar. So at the point of the day, I mean, y'all see who I'm on the panel with. I don't associate with people who's gonna talk that bullshit. I don't. Yeah. If you're gonna feed me bullshit, I can go to all kind of streaming channels on my TV for that. I don't need to talk with people to have that conversation. I can just listen to the bullshit and then turn it off when I get disgusted. I don't look. At the end of the day, man, if you want to be one of those talking heads about the entertainment and the money part and the WWE and the shenanigans of the sports, cool, by all means. I think you got a short life or a shelf life on your career in content creating is going to be real short, because you gotta live with a gimmick, and you got to keep up with that gimmick to keep your views. And once motherfuckers start weaving you out, I'm like, oh, this man a gimmick. He's a character.
Now, I ain't gonna say the brother name, but it's a cat that I started in this game. We was in the exact same group. He a Bron kid, and he's channel dead. He make content no more. Like you can't start this hustle. But it kind of segues into this next segment. And Ms. Dom, I just looked at the clock. I want to be respectful of your time. But we were kind of discussing something on the show yesterday. Shout out to the Sports Professor, Ball and Buds. Make sure y'all swing by the Bros channel. They doing good work over there.
I know I'm had to get up with you all, because football's coming around the corner, man. We're gonna have to talk some football, baby. Same with you, Tony. I got a bug your ear about some Packers stuff. Dominique, you watch football?
I do watch football. Yes. I don't love it the way that I love basketball. And it's because of the organizations. It's because of how they treat their players. And, it's hard to watch the NBA and see that, we're still paycheck slaves after all of this time building that league, right? There's no Black ownership in the NBA. There's no, Black ownership in the NFL. And it's hard. It's hard for me to give my time to that league, given all of the messed up things that they do. But I really respect the players and what they give to the sport. They're putting their body on the line. A lot of them wind up with CTE, all of these things, and just the toughness, the mental toughness. I can't not watch, certain teams play.
Okay, Ms. Nam, this is not a political podcast. Okay.
It's just, that's my problem with the NFL. It's hard for me to support. It's very, I prefer college football to NFL.
I got you. But when you know what? Football, who you rooting for though?
For NFL?
Both
No,
NFL and college.
do you see my back wall?
Oh no, I see it. I just want you to actually
The
claim
Jets. So I grew up as a Jets fan, and it's a very, very hard life. Yes, they're doing better, but again, I think it's like fake news. They're not gonna. Aaron Rodgers is not gonna do anything for us. So the fact that we picked him up it pissed me off. It pissed me off bad. Tony knows that I think that Aaron Rodgers is overrated and not gonna do
Not
shit.
right. Not right.
Season, so, yeah.
You're right, man.
Oh no, I saw the background. I didn't know if you was gonna actually, had the audacity to admit it or not, because it's been tough.
I mean, look, I've been alive long enough to see the Giants win, but that wasn't my team, and I've always rooted for the underdogs. It was just honestly, it's more fun. It's more fun rooting for teams that it's like what did the Lakers say? The Clippers say.
Bronny. Believe in Bronny.
No, but I think the Clippers are selling hope, right? So, to be a Knicks fan, imagine Knicks, Mets, Jets. Those were my teams.
Ooh, heartache. You just
never win. But the fans and how we root for the team and how we never turn our back on our teams, that was the great thing about growing up in New York and being a fan of those teams, is that people showed up all the time for the games, and gang green, baby. So I'm gonna sign off on that note. Gang green.
Punishment though.
Yes, I mean, I'd still much rather be a Jets fan than a Cowboys fan. And yes, they've won, but and I've said this before, if Dallas is America's team, it's just a shame that we have to we're being punished. So to watch Dallas and everything that they're going through, I'd still much rather be a Jets fan.
I respect that. That is a take. That's going on the YouTube Shorts, Ms. Don. We'll see you that one, because that's crazy. That's going viral.
I was like, bro,
Cowboy Nation gonna go crazy.
I was like, bro, you got to clip that one, dog.
Yeah. I'm gonna edit that out, because Cowboy Nation gonna come for your throat. What do you mean?
And I already have the Clarkies on my back. I have Bronze Kids on my back. It's really bad. So
you about to add the Cowboys. You about to add the Cowgirls, the whole bandwagon to all that.
It's a tough life.
I wanted to get y'all's takes real quick on this particular topic, because Miss Dawn was cooking in the comments yesterday as far as, and I'm sorry, I'm watching this Olympics. They got a fast walking event in this. I wish I could turn my laptop so y'all can.
No. You talking about the walking competition when they be walking on fast and they be moving.
Did you guys catch the breakdancing competition yet? Because I was just waiting for all of the appropriation happening. I missed it.
I peeped that. No, it's weird. Okay, I sidebar. So I love it how hip hop culture, Black culture, has made its way all the way to the Olympics, but they won't give us.
They
won't.
That's okay. It's okay. But we know
should just be called black dancing, not break dancing.
Respectfully, I mean, we got our own movie,
right?
I mean, we know who started it. It's okay, It's all good. Made its way to the Olympics. Look at that.
Look, Mama, we made it. Look, Mama, we made it.
Hey, no, look, hey, what Paul Mooney say? Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga.
Hey, for real. Hey, Mama, hey, for real, man, down a male big bro. You say I can't wait for battle. That's gonna be the next step. You're gonna have daylight and goddamn disaster.
Yo,
battling for gold.
Stop, bro. That's wild. Now go ahead, son. You wild, bro.
But me and Sports Professor, we cooked on this a little bit. We didn't make it a complete segment, but because Ms. Dawn was in the comment section, giving her opinion, it really made me, get my thinking going. But it's a lot of former athletes with podcasts nowadays. It's almost an epidemic. Some of them I thoroughly enjoy. Probably Shaq's is one of my favorite. We was talking about Draymond Green's podcast. That's kind of how it came up. And Ms. Don, I want you to cook on that one as well, because you had some very strong statements to make. Carmelo Anthony, he has started his podcast, and he started off with a fire. I don't know if y'all seen the video, but he gave the whole backstory of how the big three in Miami came together. We ain't got to get back into that. I think we're going to get into a whole nother LeBron segment, but some of these podcasts are valid. Some of them are not. But I hear a lot of the former athletes say things like, oh, I played in the NBA. You got to listen to me. Tony the Savant didn't, Miss Dom did. So thus far though on, I'm gonna let you go first, big bro. How do you feel about that? As far as that goes, and let me throw one name out there that really annoys me: Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas is one of those former players with a podcast. When I first started, this is before I started my podcast or my show or whatever, my channel. I used to be in Gilbert Arenas' chat, like, okay, big bro, you cooking. But somewhere along the way, he just started saying the most outlandish things. At first, it was Jordan and Kobe was the GOAT. Now he'll say LeBron is the GOAT. I done heard the man say Paul George was the GOAT, I guess, for the sake of view. So it kind of takes away a lot of that juice from their quote unquote validity of being a former player. But how do y'all feel about that? Would you say, Dub C?
I'll say this. Pay attention to whether they're either current players or former players. Pay attention to when exactly these takes are being made. Did they get the check first, or did they get it already?
Okay.
Because listen to what you said, and I was in Gilbert Arenas. Oh man, how you cooking? And then all of a sudden he hit a switch. Because he had at some point he was in our shoes where he had to grind to get the views, get the clicks, get the people to come to his channel, and he was just spitting some wrong shit. Okay, he's hit a platform where, oh man, then people know me as Gilbert Arenas the player, but they're starting to know me from my podcast. Here comes a check. Now I got to keep up with this character. I got to throw the same hook that got you hooked to my content. Now I got to be that same character now from now on here. Say some outlandish shit that I probably don't believe. But I got to make sure that I throw the same bait on that hook to reel you in. So my thing is look, are there certain perspectives that current or former players can give that we can't? Obviously, yeah, that's cool. That's totally fine. I will not take that from them. They have got to a level of sports that I wish I could have. I didn't have the not only the I wasn't blessed with the gifts. I wasn't blessed with the ability to say no to certain things or distractions to keep me focused on the task at hand when I was in high school to make me, a professional, whether it's football, baseball player, whatever one. I wasn't gonna go pro in basketball, but either football or baseball. Those are my sports. But I didn't have that focus to hone in. I didn't like the gym. I didn't like working out. I didn't. You see my channel, bro. I like to eat.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday.
I don't do diets, I like to eat what I like to eat when I want to. I wasn't disciplined like that. I wasn't blessed with that gene. That's cool. So I can respect their accolades of making it to a professional league. I will never take that from them. But just because I didn't make it to that professional level doesn't mean I don't know the sport.
Right.
I played basketball. I played football. I played baseball. I know the ins and outs, your terminology and your vast information might be longer than mine, but it doesn't negate that my opinion is on that sport. It doesn't make it valid. It doesn't make it invalid. My thing is just because you are a former player or a current player, I can't just put stock into that. Right. I'm supposed to listen. So, for instance, Adam Morrison he made it to the league, but what'd he do? So if he comes up with a podcast, everything he says is the truth,
right?
Just because he made it to the league. So I have no issue with current or former players having podcasts. My thing is especially, and I saw Mandown's comment. If you're a current player, I'm not subscribing to that in season. I'm not a big fan of Draymond having a podcast in the middle of the season because I'm, similar to what Dominique was saying about John Morant. I need you to focus on the task at hand. You got a championship to go get. You got a playoff run to go handle. You got teammates that are counting on you to be part of the team to make this of what you're trying to accomplish a goal and a team goal happen. Focus on that. I saw Michael Parsons get mad because a teammate of his said, "Hey man, cut this podcast shit out. It's training camp time. It's time to get ready." And Michael Parsons took exception for it. But my thing is I think Michael Parsons should step back, go to the brother, like, "Hey man, what you mean by this?" And the teammates should be well and fine and be like, "Hey bro, you are a generational talent, but I need you to be focused because when you're not playing the Giants, when you're not playing these bottom tier teams, you kind of come up a little empty on them sacks, bro.
I heard it talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So let's really have the conversation. If you are focused on your podcast, getting your clicks and your views, that's taken away from you putting in those reps at practice, those extra reps on your own, extra film study, extra care for your body. It takes away from something else that you can be throwing into your game to make you not only good, but take you to the next level of being great. Take you to the next level of being great to being iconic. From being iconic to being a motherfucking titan. So you are taking away something from your game in the middle of the season podcasting. You can get your clicks and your views in the off season. Now, former players, here's my thing. Don't be delusional. Like, be real. Some of these former players just be talking, like I said earlier. When did the check come in? When did it come in? Because now you got a different tune. You know, because now I gotta be
LeBron's the GOAT. That's a telltale sign. Whenever they start saying LeBron the GOAT, you know they got paid.
No, I'm just saying when you start bojangling, oh, okay, well, how big is that check? Because I hate to say it, I love Shannon Sharp, but I'm starting to see a little different to Shannon.
I hate Uncle Shay.
That Uncle Shay he looks a little different sometimes with his takes. Because that check look a little different, don't it? You know what I'm saying? Gil looked a certain way for a certain point. It looked different because he got a certain check. I used to rock with Stephen A. Heavy. He started looking a little different once that check looked a little different. So my thing is let's look at these former players and look at these where they podcast. Who's driving your narrative? Is it literally you, or who's writing that check? So that's the only thing I got with former players having podcasts, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be
like Miss Net. Oh, don't do Unc like that, man. Come on, Unc gave us some good takes. Ms. Dom, I really want you to speak to the Draymond podcast because you said something on the lines of, when you want to
address though, like, so former players versus current players, I think. Former players like Big Shot Bob, I want to hear more about what he has to say, but for some reason his podcast isn't popular. You know, I didn't even know he had a podcast. But I'd be pressed to like want to hear what he has to say. When I hear of and Scottie Pippen, like, he should have a podcast. I don't know why he doesn't. He should have one. He should be like, he should want to put his stories out there. He's got a lot of great things to say. So I'm surprised he doesn't have one. But Gilbert Arenas, I think it's a lot of cap. I can't stand even some of his guests on the show. I'm not a huge fan of really any of them. But I think that Gil, he brings like a mixture of truth, a mixture of cap. So I can watch it sometimes, even though I don't really care for the guests that are on his show. I love when Cheryl Swoops comes on, and I applaud him for, having a female perspective on the show. So I think he does some things very well, just from like a podcasting perspective. But I don't always enjoy the environment, the yelling on their show, the talking over other people when they're trying to make, an argument about, maybe against LeBron or something like that. Sometimes we can tell that there's an agenda on that show and it's not that truth piece anymore. So Gilbert Arenas, I'm okay with him doing it. I mean, what did he actually accomplish as an NBA player? He's always been no chill Gil. He's always been like crazy on social media, on Instagram. If you saw him before his podcast, it's pretty wild. Current players, and I have to agree with Mel on this, like, I don't approve of them doing a podcast at all. I think they're doing it for, a variety of reasons, and none of them are good. It's insecurity. It's, hey, I want to put out my narrative because I'm not a winner. Paul George is a serial loser, has never won anything, and that's why he's doing a podcast. He wants people to see him differently other than the loser that he is, season over season. Draymond Green, he's not a current player. He's a former player. Prior to starting his podcast, he was averaging 20 plus. We don't see any of that production since the podcast. I don't have any respect for what he's doing as far as a podcast and being a current player in the NBA. I mean, you just shit talk Steve Kerr into the ground on his latest episode about not playing Embiid, not playing Tatum, and I don't understand the disrespect that he constantly gives to his own team members through this podcast.
Because he could get away with it. That's why.
Yeah, but we don't need to hear certain things. Like, to me, I don't need to hear that, you believed, and the Warriors team believed that, like, I don't need to hear that they didn't believe that they couldn't win without Kevin Durant. You ran him off. So you're a former player. Okay. I don't really want to hear what you need to say right now, what you want to say. Like I said, and a lot of what he works for Clutch too. So a lot of that is him putting out narratives. And I was going to speak to this on my next episode of Sports Tea. I was going to share that, he was saying that Ant-Man is next and that Steph and LeBron have passed the torch to him. That's a narrative from Clutch. LeBron is clearly not the runaway best player on Team USA. So they have to push out these stories through somebody like Draymond because he's an apparent, truth teller. He keeps it real, right? Draymond's full of shit. He works for LeBron. And ever since the 2016's finals, LeBron has owned him. He has owned him. He has owned him ever since LeBron put his balls in his face in that finals, and Draymond Green was the reason why he lost, why the Warriors lost that title that year. I would have traded him that year. Don't let me be a GM. Don't let me be a coach. Because when I see people, doing the bullshit that they're doing out on the floor, you're going to have a seat right next to me, or I'm going to trade your ass. These behaviors, they need to be traded.
Come have a seat.
Draymond Green needed to be traded to the Pistons years ago, or traded wherever they need, wherever he needed to go. He made them lose in 2016.
Yeah.
And he's only there because he provides moral support to Steph Curry. And you're out here talking like you are a pivotal piece of title wins, and you're just riding Steph Curry's coattails. That's all he does, is ride the coattails of Steph Curry and Clay, because they were the Splash Brothers. Draymond didn't have anything to do with that. But at one point, he was good. At one point, he was averaging 20 plus points a game.
Yeah.
Now what happened? Now they're sitting on a contract that they can't move, and he's podcasting because he feels it's so important to run his mouth. I've never seen anything like that. A guy making millions that they need to run their mouth to make a couple extra dollars. So Paul George, you have a part-time job. You can't stay out of injury, but you want to be podcasting. You should be ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't be talking to anybody about anybody's career until you get yours together. You just wasted 4 years of Clipper fans' time. 4 years you wasted. And I get it. It was mainly Kawhi, but it was both of them. He decided to take time off and be injured, and they were laughing it up at football games together, collecting and stealing money from the Clippers. I'm fine with it. Steal money. But don't sit here and pretend like you want to contend. You're a pretender.
I just came up with your nickname, Dom. Chef. She cooking again, y'all. Cooking. That's crazy.
On the stove.
I feel horrible for saying what I said yesterday now. Like, I was over here giving Draymond all these flowers, like, yeah, Draymond, go. But
I mean, but like, what's like? Do you really want to watch a podcast of a current player that's basically pillow talking? He's a dry snitch.
He's
snitching on other players in the NBA.
Yeah,
and he's not even saying the truth. Why don't you talk about the time that a Kardashian slapped the shit out of you at LeBron James' party? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about when Tristan Thompson smacked you at LeBron's party? That's what I want to hear about, since you want a podcast, since you want to gossip.
We're doing that. Why we? He don't talk about Ron Artest neither, for whatever reason. Names.
I know
he's not that tough guy that he wants to perpetuate either. He's this guy that, he wants to beat up on Sabonis and stomp him out, punch out, Jordan Poole. He only beats up on the guys that he can.
Yeah.
I call that selective gangster.
He's very selective. He's super selective. We're not going to see him say anything bad about LeBron ever again. Why? Because LeBron's balls were in his mouth in the 2016 finals.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Dominique, I need you to do us a favor. Drop your YouTube socials because people need to go subscribe right now.
Hey, no,
put it out. Put your stuff out there. Your social medias right now. People go support Dominique for real.
I got you, bro. This is the stuff that I used to hear on Man Down. Be like, wait, what?
I thought you were gonna be nice. You had ball sacks in your mouth, and you actually want to be in public on a podcast. You throw a tantrum every time LeBron and Steph have a night off, so you can get ejected, so you can have a night off because you believe that you're a star when you're not.
Ball and Buzz put the Kermit emojis down there. Just sipping tea. Yeah, we sipping the tea. That's a fact, though. And it's kind of funny. I did not realize Draymond used to be an advocate, LeBron James hater. You know, he used to be on our side, if you will.
Until what? Until he got a contract with Clutch, until he started, being involved in businesses with LeBron. LeBron completely turned around his life so that he can win in the finals.
Hey, like I said earlier.
You know what I'm saying? LeBron, he did all of that. Once he beat him in 2016, and he's owned the Warriors and owned Draymond Green since then. He's owned him as a player and a person.
Cap, because Kevin Durant owns LeBron. So
Kevin Durant owns LeBron, not the Warriors. As soon as Kevin Durant left, LeBron has beaten the Warriors every single time. He dropped 50 on them not too long ago. He beat them in the play-in. The Warriors can never beat LeBron again after 2016. He realized that all he has to do is beat up Steph Curry because he plays a fake point guard position. So, okay, I'm going to beat up Steph Curry. I'm going to bum rush the lane. Who's going to stop him on that team? They're way too small. Andrew Wiggins is like dumb as rocks. He's just standing around stargazing at will. You know what I mean? Who's going to stop LeBron on that team right now? It's not going to be Draymond. They're friends. They're friends. He makes money with LeBron. He calls him the GOAT. So, I don't agree with current players podcasting at all. I think it's shameful, and you mainly see guys that never won or are currently not winning. They're looking to spread false narratives and bullshit. That's what Draymond Green is there. He was probably told by Clutch to create a podcast. Set up your after basketball life. He was sold on that so that Rich Paul can push out narratives about LeBron all day. And that's all that they do. JJ Redick had the podcast. I believe that, JJ Redick having that podcast was probably set up by Clutch too. And it was all just a big master plan to get him to the Lakers head coach position.
Say it again. I think that
there's no evidence and there's no reason for anybody in the media to be calling LeBron James the GOAT.
Yeah. The craziest part, and it's funny you say that mind the game thing was a booby trap for Darvin Ham, man, the entire way. Because that's pretty much, it was just a job interview for JJ Redick. Show everybody that you know how to draw up a play. Draw up plays for Bronny.
But how do you get an assistant manager? How do you get a head coach fired that won a title as an assistant coach on the Milwaukee Bucks the year before? How do you accomplish that to bring in a white guy that never won anything, not in college, not in the NBA?
He ain't never coached nothing.
He never coached, but he's never done anything.
I don't recall JJ Redick coaching an AAU team, a 18 and under team, a middle school team, a high school team.
He literally coached girls basketball. I believe he coached girls basketball, not even boys basketball.
He coached his son's basketball team, but his son is only like 11 years old. So you finna go from
he's 11 now. When he coached him, I don't even think that he was 9. I don't know. All I know is that JJ Redick is full of shit. So is LeBron. LeBron is just out here, giving, putting white privilege on display, when there were so many more qualified guys to take on that head coaching position. And just, he owns the media. He's almost worse than a certain group of people that own everything that we do. Yeah. So, it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. Which is another emphasis on why we got to do what we do, because we ain't getting no Clutch sports. I ain't gonna lie. If Clutch hit me up today and like, all right, we're gonna see you, I'm gonna take the check Then in my next episode, I'm like LeBron James the GOAT, just to clickbait him in, and we just give him all the facts. Let's start with 2007. Let's go down memory lane. Hey, we want our money back, Tone Bone. It's spent.
But for real though, how do people who, you know, really believe that LeBron is the GOAT, how do they get around the 2011 finals? How do you get around that?
Getting guarded by JJ Barea. Let's stop. Come on, bro.
Like he got clamped up by Jason Kidd.
Yeah,
the fans want to sit there and say, oh, they played a zone defense. He was guarded one-on-one, oftentimes by much smaller guys, and he just collapsed. Let's be for real.
The first time we ever seen Jason Terry do the jet, the jet celebration, it was a 3 over LeBron James right in the eyebrows. And I've never seen such
I still can't believe they got beat by that team. I still can't believe it.
Second grade girls team.
See, I knew it was a girls team that he coached.
I was wrong.
Man, that's crazy. I've coached some elementary kids before, man. So that makes me NBA quality.
Obviously, big bro.
I guess so. When you were never a successful role player, I guess that makes you gives you the ability to be a head coach as well.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm pretty sure Ty Lue has a title.
Hey, Detroit Pistons, holla at me. I'm cheaper than Monty Williams, bro. But you still got to come off that bag, though.
Yeah, they did Monty bogus. But you know who?
Come on, Monty knew what's up. Hey, first of all, Monty don't care. He at home counting them ducats, bro.
Yeah,
home counting ducats right now.
I wonder what's the real behind the scene issue. Is he unlikable, amongst organizations? Is he like? I just wonder what the issue is.
I don't think he cares. He's counting money right now.
Yeah,
they owe him a lot of money, and he don't care. Fire me, fine. After 1 year, you gave me what, 84 million? Go ahead, fire me. I don't care. I can't do nothing with this trash ass roster and this trash ass management. What am I supposed to do with that? But you can
know who? You know who I think got done the dirtiest?
He should have done what Ime Udoka did in Houston. So I'm not going to give him excuses for having a trash ass roster and inexperience. Like, there's coaches who, no matter what team they go to, they make an impact. And I think Ime was able to do that in Houston. He was able to do it, in Boston. He made Boston look like thugs playing against the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. He made Jason Tatum look like he was that guy. And we all know that he's just kind of not.
Yeah.
So, I do think that Monty had an opportunity. Like, when a team is so bad, there's only one way that you can go is up. So anything that you do is an accomplishment. And instead, somebody like JJ Redick is going to get that revere when, the Lakers should be in contention every single year.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I think Phil Handy got did dirty. Like they fired Phil Handy with Darvin Ham, and this is supposed to be LeBron's guy, right? And tried to rehire him and put him on JJ Redick's roster, coaching staff. It's like, man,
JJ Redick doesn't have the respect of anybody in the league, in my opinion. To me, he's somebody walking around with a small one that needs to constantly assert themselves a certain way. You can just tell.
You
can just tell. When you take a look at his wife, you can just tell.
Hey, yo.
He dated black girls in college. There's a reason for that.
Hey, okay, Ms. Dom, you just we don't need Skip Bayless. We got Ms. Dom.
No, but she cooking though. Hey, stop her when she's telling a lie though.
Hey, I'm not mad at it.
I'm just saying he seems like a very insecure man. Even the way that he would fight with Stephen A. Smith, it just seemed very I don't know. Something is just not right there. And I think that he hasn't accomplished enough in his career. And, a lot of NBA players, they believe, and this is what the current podcast world will tell you, that are current NBA players or even former NBA players, they think that they're supposed to be celebrated just for making it. They believe that they get participation trophies. That's the problem with today's generation, today's league, is that everybody believes that they need recognition for something. And if you don't win, what are we recognizing you for?
Precisely.
We're going to recognize you for what you did. If you won the scoring title, that's what we're going to recognize you for, but you're still not a winner. You know what I mean?
No, you and that's the whole problem. That's the whole issue in the game. I don't mind you being a former player if you're going to stand on it and actually tell the truth, or be transparent at least, because gonna be a little fluff there. You're gonna have your connections and your friendships, but yeah, when you out here you peeing on my leg and you calling it rain, then that's why I draw my line.
It's
And
just criminal that Paul George has a podcast.
They call him Podcast P. You remember it used to be Playoff P for that
I
one.
call him Pitiful P.
Pitiful
I call him Pathetic P.
Damn, Don. I actually got a show
I'm just saying, he left Callie Rivers to be married to a stripper.
JJ is an asshole without an asshole accomplishment. Oh yeah, that's a fact. I forgot all about that.
I mean, he just keeps like the L's for Paul George to me just keep adding up in ways that are just astronomical. You couldn't get past LeBron when you were in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the Thunder. Like, think about how many teams that he's been on that had firepower.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're going to make excuses. We're going to say that Chris Paul got injured. We're going to say that where else? So he went to the Thunder and he went straight to the Clippers after that. Where did he go in between there? No, just straight to the Clippers, right?
Straight to the Clippers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at this 4 years. What do they have to show for that? What is Steve Ballmer, a decent owner coming after Donald Sterling? What does he have to show for that time?
Ticket sales.
Ticket sales, new stadium, injured Kawhi. I heard Kawhi retiring. I heard he talking about retiring.
The Clippers are clipped straight up.
Oh, yeah.
It's clipped the Clippers because they're not going to. Yeah, I watched it. It wasn't that good. I thought Winning Time was better.
Winning Time was great, and they canceled it. Damn you, HBO.
Yeah, they canceled it, and I think they canceled it because of the backlash that they got from Jerry West. I think he was threatening a lawsuit against them because they didn't depict him properly. They were depicting him as like this alcoholic person. I mean,
angry guy. Yeah.
Right. And, they're saying that he just wasn't quite like that. And I mean, I really don't know what's true. I think that I enjoyed the series. That's what I think. I think the second season fell off, but the first season was really good.
Yes.
The Clips was disappointing. Who they had playing Blake Griffin, even like I didn't think it was good. Lawrence Fishburne playing Doc Rivers. I didn't really I just didn't think it was that good. And I hated the girl that
played the black girl.
Yeah, I hated her. And I rarely say stuff like that. Like, I'm so supportive of women, but I hated her character. I couldn't stand how they wrote. Like, I don't hate the actress. I just hate the character and how they wrote that up.
Yeah.
They had Al Bundy. In the
It was just, oh my gosh.
Hey, here's another thing on JJ Redick that bothers me. He's been on record to bash the same organization that just hired you.
That's why I can't believe he's hired. Like, I'm ashamed. I think that what LeBron has done.
I got to deal with this and LeBron on my team.
I know.
Pissing me off.
And he's turning the Lakers and the entire NBA into a mockery.
This shit is pissing me. Oh, mockery is you're putting him out, but you are headed in the right direction. It's a
complete joke.
It's I was not a fan of that hiring. I didn't blame Dan Hurley for why would I take this job? I'm back-to-back national champion. I don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Well, you're just going to get blamed when they lose, right? LeBron has to play a certain way because he's still in high school. Now he's also an invested soccer mom, probably desperate to get Bronny on, meaningful minutes in NBA games. So it's just kind of like, what's really going to come of that team?
Not a soccer mom, bro. Picking up Bronny and Dalton Connect from the arcade. Hey, we got a game today.
All I know is Dominique is just making this worse and worse for me as a Lakers fan because she's
saying like they played on the emotions of black people, saying he's just trying to get his black son a job and create generational wealth that LeBron has had since before Bronny was even fucking born. You know what I mean? It's just like the most hilarious shit. Bronny already made a whole, loads of money in college for averaging 4 points. He was the highest NIL player paid. People actually bought his jersey. We can't make this shit up. It's all about hype. It's all about, what's going to get views and clicks. And it's all about the Fetty.
I'm about to be
know?
disgusted come Halloween and the NBA season roll by, bro.
Especially because every single day before and after Halloween, Bronny's wearing a costume every day.
You said
So
that, didn't he? He playing costume or playing Halloween when he dressed up as a Laker.
Hey, Dominique, he cosplaying.
He
He
cosplaying.
This
I
man
mean,
is
you can see it in
cosplaying.
his eyes. He has that blank stare. Have you guys ever looked at someone who had like a blank stare? Derrick Rose used to have it, but like he was actually good.
Right. Yeah. No,
You
I
know
know
what I
exactly.
mean? He was actually good at what he does. Bronny has a legit blank stare, like he's either depressed or waiting to get back to dating white girls in video games.
Yeah.
Like that's
And smoking
his
weed.
trajectory.
Don't forget smoking that ganja.
You know, like it's just crazy to me that I do wild card. I feel very bad for you being a late, like basically we swap spots because before Jalen Brunson got to the Knicks, that's where I was, and now you know you've just been in this place of like purgatory or internal hell, you know, dealing with LeBron being on your team.
Dominique, Lakers fans get mad at me when I discredit that bubble championship. They get mad at me.
Well, there was no fans there. There was no legit competition. LeBron saw an opportunity, and that's one thing that I'll say about him is that he's always been able to, him and Rich Paul have always been able to exploit any opportunity to get to a win. So they see the path from years ago. So when COVID hit, they saw the path like, hey, if you just do this, if you just show up, you're going to win because this is how the teams are going to land.
Right.
And you're going to guarantee that majority of stars just don't have the will to even compete right now.
Yeah.
Paul George, again, shell of himself during that, you know, playoff season. He could have sat out, but instead he literally looked like he was a part of the Goon Squad, the Toon Squad.
No, you're right.
I was sucked out.
So many guys didn't want to show up and compete. They're worried and scared for their lives. You know, COVID probably didn't even really apply to LeBron.
Right.
You know, even the rules surrounding COVID didn't apply to him. So, you know, it's just really interesting to me how that all shaped out in that title. And you have the right to feel like, hey, it's not really valid. I don't blame you for feeling like, hey, it's not really valid.
No,
I don't blame you at all.
And when I say Lakers fans are in my inboxes, you ain't no real Lakers fan. We got the banner. We got the trophy. I said, man, physical things may matter, but my eyes didn't deceive me.
Amen. Y'all got the in-season tournament.
Was it really rewarding for you guys to beat the Miami Heat in 5?
I don't count it. I say we got
no fans because we all know that LeBron can't shoot. If there was a fan in there, like, you know, saying anything,
he broke his focus.
Yeah. He's scared of the free throw line. He's scared of the 3-point line. Like, come on.
So here's my main point. So take away the bubble championship. What has LeBron given the Lakers since 2019? We've gotten missing the playoffs in 2019, 2020 bubble championship, 2021. I think you missed the playoffs. 2022, you barely.
No, in 2021 they made the playoffs. They went through the in-season tournament and then got knocked out in the first round by the Suns.
Yeah. And then 2022, I don't think they made it or something like that. And then is what my biggest point is take the bubble championship out. You either missing the playoffs or you're barely getting in. Now 2023.
But imagine though a team that actually plans themselves and wants to be an 8th seed.
Nobody.
No, but that's the Lakers. They plan for that so that they can orchestrate the title run.
Yeah.
And you imagine being a player that's been able to orchestrate every single move, the players that you get, the teams that you go to, the coaches that you get, and you still lose. Can you imagine that, losing 6 times and you got to pick everything, that you got to handpick your teammates, you got to handpick your coaches, and you're still losing.
That's the saddest part. I've never seen that. I've never seen nothing like that where, you know, I don't, in any sport, I get to choose my squad. We get to the dance and we lose. I mean, let alone choose my squad. But I think LeBron gonna go down in history. But what do you mean, Mel? He gave y'all, I mean, sorry, wild card Mar. I was looking that man down. But Mar, he gave y'all Bronny James. Baby, y'all got 20 more years of this.
That's facts. I bet the contract is going to get upgraded to a guaranteed 20 years. How do you feel about that guaranteed 4-year contract for Bronny?
That's the thing that's killing me. Name another 55th pick that has gotten this contract.
I can't. I can't name it.
That's my point.
Disgusting.
So look, I understand the narrative that they wanted to take nepotism. Like, hey, finally some black folks get some nepotism. I don't care. Cool,
I can't get with that narrative. It makes me
I,
so angry when I hear it because it's not
I hear what
nepotism,
you're
it's
saying.
narcissism.
Amen.
It's not nepotism, it's narcissism. Bronny James didn't need to be in the NBA. He could have been a producer. He could be acting in movies. LeBron owns a production company. Why couldn't he go do that? He could have done anything in the world that his father could have just put him in. Sports is the only single place, okay, where like athletic success cannot be inherited. You cannot nepotize that.
All right. That's a good point.
No, you make a good point. But I think my main point that I was trying to make is at the end of the day, you see, it's just another chess move that LeBron has made that favors him in his camp. Because adding Bronny James to this roster at the 55th pick, I mean, let's be honest, most 55 picks probably don't make that great of an impact on the team regardless. But still, you didn't need Bronny James. He doesn't make this team better. He doesn't make this a contender.
But
Why
it
did
makes
you have to
an
play with
impact though. But think about how it made an impact to your team because now you can't even get players for the veterans men.
Oh yeah, because
He's
there's
there with a guaranteed contract over 4 years worth, what is it, 7 or 8 million
a year.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a year. I think it's a total contract. But regardless, like you guys could have gotten a qualified NBA player, somebody that can shoot for LeBron for maybe $1 million a year. What happened to Dinwiddie? He's just gone because he can't play in the system.
Dinwiddie is with the Mavs, which I love.
The system. I've never heard that.
That's what it is.
I've never heard that.
Top of the key. AD, get on that line. Kyrie, get on the line.
Literally, all of LeBron's supporting cast, they just get blamed for the turnovers. Did you ever see that sequence in a game where he turns over the ball and then turns around and yells at Taurean Prince for his own turnover that he caused?
Oh, I saw a lot of that this past year. I've seen a lot of that.
That's what you have to look forward to. I mean, imagine him yelling at his son on the court. He's going to yell at him for missing the shot when he threw the bad pass. Okay, like it's.
Just gave me a good idea for the next video. We're gonna do a video about Bronny James, and we're gonna call it generational propaganda. That's what you're finna get, brother.
Look, Bronny is a generational talent, just one that I hope to never ever see again.
Look, I'm about to stock up on weed now because once this basketball season comes, I'm gonna need something for me to just take me all the way through 82 games because this.
I mean, the Lakers turned into the Kardashians wild card. Yeah. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the Kardashians now, and when you have Kardashians on your team, think about it. Kobe Bryant never wanted that.
Right.
He traded Lamar Odom away as soon as he became a Kardashian and married Chloe.
He said, "Go."
He got rid of him.
Get away.
LeBron is now turning it into a reality show.
It's not bad. It's funny you said that. I had said that somewhere. I had said it. I was like, man, this is about ticket sales and entertainment. This is not basketball because you can't tell me, you can't fool me, and you can't sell me on anything that any of these moves are basketball related to make the team a winning championship. And here's the problem with the Lakers is because I've been a Lakers fan since knee high, and we got this. We're almost like fans of like the Yankees. Do we expect to win the championship every year? No, but I expect you to contend. Right. I expect you to be mindful. Look, put the right people in the coaching position. Put the right people on the roster. Be smart with your money moves and contend. That's what's been set. That's what Dr. Jerry Buss has set in precedent of real Lakers fans is to contend every year for the championship. This ain't it. You can't sell me on this is a contending team. Whatever move they made. You can't. I refuse to believe that you are selling me on something that's basketball move that's smart or makes sense or puts the needle towards a championship. You can't fool me like that. So trust me, Dominique, I'm already looking at I already hit up my weed man just a second ago. I'm on top of the store because this got to be a long ass season. Good thing I'm a Chiefs fan and they can keep me happy with football, because this NBA season, this upcoming one, yeah, I'm about to be depressed. And I'm gonna need.
I'm sorry, I feel for you. I really do. As a basketball fan, I'm depressed as well. Just the fact that we have to be exposed to this.
Tweeting crazy shit like I love LeBron, I'm in the deep end. Come get me. All right. Just
I got you. I got your back.
Just know that.
But I don't want to cut. I think this is a classic stream, y'all, man. I was excited when the wild card. I was excited when Miss Dom said she was gonna make it, but when the big bro said he could make it, man, I knew this was gonna be a good one. I know I want to be respectful because I know Miss Dom, you gotta get your rest, man.
Please drop your YouTube and Twitter and all that. I need to make sure that we follow you. So
absolutely.
Because because you always be, because you drop it. You've been dropping the heat all night. And I need not only myself, but everybody to get a glimpse at this, because I've shared this stream on my channels, and they need to make sure that they tap in with your content, because obviously, like I said earlier, I've been a big fan of yours. Obviously, seeing you on Man Down, because I've always been a fan of Man Down. So go follow Miss Dom. All right, y'all make it happen.
Guys, Sports Tea today. 1 at the end on YouTube. You can find me there. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Sports Tea Today. Really looking forward to engaging with you all and just creating a safe space to talk about sports. Sports is supposed to bring us together. It's not supposed to divide. So come find me, come engage me, and let's have some fun.
No doubt.
I love that. And thank you for pulling up, Ms. Dom. Hey, big bro, before we cut out, do your plugs as well. You stay busy. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. You already know me, man. I got more jobs than a damn Jamaican, man. So you always, hey, just jump on over to my Twitter, where I'll be posting all my links and all that stuff. So going over to Twitter, KC Wildcard Mar. I know IOW Sports, we kind of been on a hiatus. Look forward to IOW Sports coming back. I'm gonna revamp the afternoon show on Monday and Thursdays, and I'm gonna bring the late night owl show back too. So look out for that. Like I said, just going over to Twitter, man, KC Wildcard Mark, because I got content for days over there. So yeah, man, appreciate all love and support, bro.
Hey, appreciate you for pulling up, big bro, always. And please like, squirt. Excuse me, I done got a little queasy myself. But thanks everybody for pulling up. Mel with Man Down. Who else pulled up tonight? With Sport Ball and Buds.
Yeah, Bobby.
Try to get everybody in there, man. I'm gonna get everybody on the next one, because I think we didn't put in some work. But please like, share, all that good stuff. You see it in the ticker. I am Tony the Savant. Thank you again, Miss Dom, big bro. To the next time, man. Peace.
Nice to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am.